26, 2023. It is 2 p.m. in Sandpoint City Council chambers at Sandpoint City Hall, 1123 West Lake Street, Sandpoint, Idaho. This regular meeting of the Selkirk Fire Service Joint Powers Board is now called to order. For the record, I am Jennifer Stapleton, Board Executive Director, presiding. Also present are members of the board, Rich Townsend, representing Sable Fire District, Sandpoint City Councilor Kate McAllister, representative for the City of Sandpoint, and Will Gadsby, representing the West Side Fire District. And we have no members absent today. Chief, do you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everyone will please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public participating remotely on Zoom today?
We do not.
Okay. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board with any general comments before we get underway?
I would. I think for the record, Merlin Glass, resident of Dover, and that a citizen of living in West Side Fire District. Last month, if you remember, I passed out some data that I put together. This is topical, and I wanted to recap on some of that because a couple of you weren't here, and to share the information. The concern that I have is about staffing, okay? And it comes from a position of safety for the employees and a concern for the people that we put in harm's way, going out all hours of the day and night. I'm sure you're well aware of that. That first sheet there is kind of a snapshot of the number of responding people that we have per day. And listed below that are some references to National Fire Protection Association standards for what constitutes a crew and what constitutes readiness. The second page, it got some highlights in there to talk about some of the parts that make a fire department effective all the way down to the crew level. And it has to do with people. Presently, we have a situation in West Side where we have a firefighter responding alone. You can't have a crew of one. That's not a crew. And so as a default, what it is that the first person arrives, mark on scene, and then other people show up until the work gets done. And that's not efficient. Last month, I opened up, if there's any questions, I totally open it to answer questions. The odd thing is the only question I had last month was, who put me up to this?
That isn't what I asked. I asked you, did someone ask you to do this?
And the answer was no. But it was the only question I got. Not about manpower, not about operations, not about safety for employees. Okay? It's not political. And I haven't talked to anybody. This is just 20 minutes on the internet. Pull this stuff out. It's there for everybody to read. So that's my concerns. It's a long way to go. I would guess that the size of the department with the growth that we've had is probably 10 or 20 years behind. But if you had a crew of 4 on an engine with 4 stations, okay, that's 20 people. If we're running a day, if we're running 8 a day, then we're less than half where we ought to be. So if we get ready for the next wave of people moving into the area, our population is going to grow. We can't stay this way. So there has to be a plan. And that's my only concern. There is no plan. There's no visible plan. That's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Any other comments today?
One comment.
Yeah.
I know you guys know I am a Cam Frank, union president for Local 2019. So I just wanted to pass this on a piece of paper for all the TPD members here. So Engineer Jonah Pucci was terminated from employment this Monday for a work email they sent to the city administrator on October 11th.
Clint, I'm gonna cut you off at this, and the public comments. We cannot take testimony about employees, employee performance, and employee issues.
What I was hoping to resolve today, and I understand that Ms. Stapleton, is that you, during executive session, you guys can discuss this and come to a more reasonable solution. And that's all my comments are gonna be, because I feel like some basic steps were missed as far as progressive discipline. So if any members would like to reach out to me, obviously you know how to get in touch with me. It didn't seem like it was a fireball fence. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, with that, we will now proceed with approval of the meeting minutes from the September 28th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 28th, 2023 JGA board meeting.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Chief's reports. I'll yield the floor to Chief Gilchrist.
Okay, so thanks everybody for being here. Always like to start these off with the anniversary. So this month, Captain Frank goes over 21 years of service. I'd like to thank him for his service and wish him continued success. Announcements, none of our stations, and I put this out to Westside and Sagal as well, just kind of reiterating it here. None of our stations are going to be needed for the elections next month, next week, now 2 weeks. There we go. I'll get it in a minute. Crews are going through their annual medical physicals and fit testing, SCBA fit testing, as well as physical readiness. The incident review for the month of September, we had 160 calls for service. Sagal had 71, Sandpoint had 70, and Westside had 19. Personnel update, we had 3 open positions. We have 3 that are out on FMLA. The caveat to the FMLA, one of those will be returning to active duty on the 27th. The open positions where the interviews for those candidates begin today. We'll continue again on Monday afternoon. The application period is open until the end of October. Training, our Recruit Academy training partnership with Northside and Schweitzer is moved to Northside for the remainder of that course offering. We have our company and multi-company training plan is actually getting the annual training plan is getting an update. This is going to enable us to hit our training benchmarks throughout the year as our objectives change. We need to make adjustments to be able to hit those benchmarks. Apparatus, the annual pump service testing for all the first out units was accomplished last Saturday, and annual service test on not service test, annual periodic maintenance service on the apparatus is being scheduled. We have engineers Colby and Lewis are scheduling those with the mechanics, the various mechanics around to get that stuff taken care of. SCBA testing is started. And our community engagement, we had our open house to kick off Fire Prevention Week was held on October the 7th. We had a very good turnout. It was about the same numbers as we had last year. They were just a little different. Last year was more of everybody at the beginning, and then they just kind of left. And this year was more of a steady influx of people. We are just finishing up our school visits and station tours and the fire prevention stuff, wrapping those activities up at the end of the month, culminating next Tuesday on Halloween. And that's it for the chief's report.
Any questions on the chief's report? Comments? Okay, next item is monthly financial report, and I'll yield the floor to City Finance Director Sarah Lynch.
All right, good afternoon. You have in front of you all of the wages for fire station and districts through the end of the fiscal year. We were able to wrap it up and actually get everything paid a little early, so we were able to have these to you for this meeting. I'm gonna go over the fire station. You can see how it's broken down by the different stations, coming to a total of 103.46% of budget. So we were a little bit over budget for the annual fiscal year. The JPA administration, the same thing, it's all the way through the end of the fiscal year, and we're at 82.40 or 82% spent budget to actuals. And the main reason for that is the open chief's position, deputy chief's position that we had for the majority of the year. I don't think there's anything worthy of noting on the last September did have 3.5 pay periods in it, so things do look higher in that month for not only the station but then also for the JPA administration as well. That's all.
Any questions on the financial system? Okay. Next item on the agenda is discussing our upcoming schedule. We always seem to have this discussion coming into the end of the year. With upcoming Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, in some years past, we have combined the two meetings and scheduled a single meeting. Otherwise, we could look at scheduling two separate meetings on different weeks. Does the board have any preference at this point? And we can also send out emails following the meeting and look at availability.
I don't have one. If it's the week of Thanksgiving, I'll probably have to Zoom. Same for Christmas.
I'll be away in the week of Thanksgiving also.
Okay.
So if we
move it,
wanted to move it up to early December, that would benefit me,
Okay.
maybe you as well.
If we look at moving from, so our regular meeting would be the 23rd, I believe.
Yeah.
So if we move to the 30th for our next meeting.
That works for me.
Okay.
How about you, Richard?
Yep.
And then my suggestion would be for December, we assess where we are at the next meeting and determine whether we're going to cancel a December meeting or we want to reschedule a December meeting.
Sounds great. You want to vote on that, or?
No, we just need staff direction on that.
So Thursday the 30th, 2 p.m.
Correct.
Okay.
And Tammy, you'll follow up with the calendar invite to board members. Okay. Next item on the agenda is an executive session, and I will entertain a motion to convene an executive session pursuant to Idaho Code Section 74206J to consider labor contract matters.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We will convene into executive session at 2:13.
I'll leave this with you. This is just a response that might be worth looking at, executive session, that's all. It's just handwritten. It's by no means